Hey, good
Yeah,
morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. We was having some interesting conversation this morning. Um, yeah, we got to put that on like Patreon or something. You got to pay for that extra info. So get the uncensored version. So we appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Join our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. I'm gonna go ahead and kick this intro off. We can talk about some news, some stuff that we've seen.
blah blah.
Yeah, they just
President Trump about to get indicted. Blah blah.
quiet, brother. It's gotten quiet. They're not indicting that brother. They have nothing else. He's not going
Yeah.
to
If
jail.
if you ever been in a hurricane, it's always quiet before everything.
Right before the storm. That was good
Or
though.
even
That was good.
even in the eye of a tornado.
Right. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Just make sure you put some spec on his name when you're calling him 40, will be 46, 47,
I don't know what they
47.
call him.
47.
I call him
47.
Trump.
You gonna just call him Trump?
Yeah,
Mama called him Trump. I'm gonna call him
in the
Trump.
words is the word of my country, brother. I do what I want.
We'll be right back.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, when you said we stand up, I had to give a boom. We stand up. We don't stand out, we stand up.
You gotta give me the air horn though.
I don't have it ready. I don't have it ready for you. I should get you that stuff.
It's tomorrow,
That's
Friday.
Freestyle
Freestyle
though.
Friday.
Freestyle Friday. That's
That's the
That's
air
not-
horn. Air horn
yeah.
time.
You get the horns in, you get all the crickets and everything else. You get the sound effects.
Yeah.
Thursday we gotta try to be serious.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Serious time.
Make sure you bring out the band too with the
You know what? Don't do that.
I even bring out the Sandman.
yeah, there you go. I like that. Huh? I know it. 9:59. It's gonna go down.
9:59. All right. So apparently, I just got breaking news from my brothers about Sean Kemp, the basketball player.
The Rain
Got
Man.
arrested for a drive-by. A drive-by.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a Porsche, right? You said in a Porsche? You just
Yeah,
pulled out,
in a
pulled out the
Porsche.
gat
In front of J.C. Penney.
in front of JC.
Mm.
Wow. My people, we've got to be able to control our anger no matter what happens. It's not worth it. It's just not.
Listen,
Yeah, especially for Sean Kemp. I mean,
Right.
dude, you like 6'10". Ain't nobody gonna miss you, man. Come on now.
the funny thing is, I wish that this was a Freestyle Friday because there's so many jokes that go along with this. You know,
dude,
so many jokes. Like they
black-
took him,
black-
they must have got it for his
black-
1500. I'm telling you.
There we go.
it ain't Friday.
It ain't Friday. Kaneem said it ain't Friday. It ain't Friday. All right. So today we're talking about seeing your goals when things happen, trying to stay focused when plans go awry, and how do you kind of like pivot but still stay focused on your goals and not change everything because of a situation. So I kind of want to throw that out there to you guys. Like when, like Kaneem, I know you have like the short-term goals and plans. So what happens? Like, how do you feel? Because it's not really like necessarily what you do, right? And I just got to figure out how to do it. Like, but how do you process in your mind or your head your emotions? Sometimes when you have something that it could be important, semi-important, that you're taking care of the next week or whatever. Um, I've always heard the term, don't let a temporary, don't make permanent decisions on temporary circumstances. Kind of like the Sean Kemp situation. I think an altercation happened. We we've speculated on what actually went down, but to the point he had to pull out a gun and do a drive-by in a Porsche. To get pushed to that extreme because something didn't go his way. Because let's keep it real. Whatever it was, it's something. Either his parking spot got stolen, he got cut off.
I hope it was a Porsche SUV because he might have been mad because he's cramped up in that car. He's thinking, what you doing in a Porsche anyway?
It was a Panamera.
Or maybe he took the front seat out and he's sitting in the back.
I don't know. Which kind
was it? Ain't got no back seat. Anyway,
Panamera.
Oh, okay, it was a bigger one. Okay,
yeah.
I'm just wondering because golly, to be that big in a Porsche, you had to be angry.
Yeah. So have you had in your younger years, going back, have you had those situations when things happen and you let things like you just go into the store and then going either to work or going to take care of something productive, and then something threw a monkey wrench in it and you let it escalate into something else? Have you ever had those moments where, man, I shouldn't be in this situation? Why did I let myself get emotionally?
Man, I was terrible when I was small, man. I was a little devil. I'm going to the store for my mama. Get a cigarette. It's back when you could buy cigarettes as a kid.
Right.
I go get a cigarette from my mama, man. I'm all up in there. Just I'm stuffing stuff in every pocket, drawers. I got all kinds of stuff. I got bubble gum, bubble yum. I got Big League Chew. I come out of there everything. And can I get a pack of Cool Filter King 100? As I look, I was terrible, man. I was terrible. I got caught at I don't know if y'all remember Safeway, but we had Safeway back in the day.
Yes.
And went in there with my buddy. And we was tripping like, yeah, man, let's get some frozen pizza. We got stuffing frozen pieces down my pants. And old buddy seen us, like they got the little registers where you got to go to the register to get out the door.
Right.
Old buddy seen us and he just said, hey. And we started, they locked the door on one side, and old buddy was coming at me. I'm like, I can't go backwards. I got to go at you. Hey, I ran through him like he was paper mache, man. I'm talking about just blind, straight out the other door. But I couldn't go back in there because they had me on video.
Your face up. You see this man.
Wait, banned for life.
Banned for life.
I was terrible, man. I was terrible.
Look, he got older. It's like, hey, can you go grocery shopping?
No, I was terrible, man. I was terrible. From about 8 years old to probably I was saying probably about 25, man. I was just terrible.
Wow. He said 8 to 25. Terrible. And man, my bad. Yeah. Good morning, Mama Corey, Lisa. Thank you guys for rocking with us.
Lisa, the Big League Chew.
Right.
I get to see Thomas today.
I remember that commercial. That's hilarious. Oh, wow. But okay, so let me ask you this though. So 25, you kind of wake up, realize I need to start making better decisions. I need to choose better. But what happens when an old situation that almost not requires, but triggers one of your old decisions, like that you're going to make instead of choosing to either walk away, ignore it, old Kaneem was like, we need to respond. Have you had those situations?
On the grounds that it may incriminate myself, I should plead the fifth.
Please, 1, 2,
I'm
3,
plead the
4,
fifth.
5th.
I'm plead the
Plead the
fifth.
5th. Not the 5th, the 5th. I plead the 5th.
No, man. I mean, you do wrong to enough people, it always come back on you. That's just karma, man.
Gotcha. You took that long. Let's see. Oh, that's Thomas. I was like, who is that?
I was saying good
Thomas,
morning, Richard.
What about you in your situations and just trying to make better decisions? Has things happened to kind of throw you off your goal?
You know, it's interesting that the question that you're specific, like if things happen that try to throw you off your goal. And you know, lately one of the conversations I've been having is just doing the right thing, and it seems like the wrong thing always shows up, no matter what. Even in life right now, you can try to do the wrong thing. You could do the wrong thing, and the wrong thing will show up, and you can do the right thing, and the wrong thing will show up.
Right.
It's always going to show up, and it's like, how do you adjust? Because that's a mindset that you got to have to even press through. Because a lot of times when you have enough rejection in life, you want to just quit. You want to make someone else feel your pain also at times. And so instead of trying to, you know, live out your pain through other people, you got to figure out ways to adjust. And it doesn't say, you know, I don't go to the standpoint of I'm going to make wrong decisions because the wrong thing is happening, even though I'm trying to do the right thing. Right. I try to still figure out how to do the better decisions. But that's me being mature now, right? If I go back in the days, like when you were talking about, you know, the teenage years again, you know, the decisions I would make then were like, you know what? I'm tired of this stuff. Right. Now, you know, stuff is a different word, but, you know, and it'd be like, you know, F it. You know, if someone's going to, you know, if this is what's going to keep happening, what do I got to lose? You know, and so, you know, you get to the point where it's like, you know, if I ain't got nothing to lose, then if I'm going to lose, so are you. And that was the mindset back then. And then, you know, it started coming to a point where, you know what, that ain't working for me. Right. And, you know, back then also, when you think about growing up the way I grew up, statistically, you weren't supposed to live past 21, you know, and so you got this hopelessness and this weight on your shoulders, and you hear the statistics and everything else.
So wait. Pause.
I'm gonna pause.
So, Kaneem, I see you responding. So was that really like a weight that you guys thought about and carried?
Like, it was 25 for me. And I never thought I was gonna get to be 25. Never. I didn't even look that far down the road, man. Like I was all over the country at 18, 19 years old, like literally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm on both. I'm on East Coast, West Coast, Chicago, St. Louis. I'm all New Orleans. I'm all over the country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was living day to day.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I don't know. It's just I seen it. I seen the statistics. The way I grew up, you know, I think my goal was just not to get locked up. You know, the statistics of the age of getting locked up. I was like, I just got to survive that. Like, you know, it was never mortality. Like I always figured myself to become a grown man, you know, to get older, hopefully get to 70, you know, but never something happened to me while I was young, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I had a lot of, I mean, when I was in the 7th grade, I told you about my homeboy Barlow. We was in middle school. Yeah. Got killed over radio. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we 13 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I had a lot of people that was young because death was not uncommon. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different when, you know, it's in disbelief, but when it happened all the time.
No, I get you.
All the time.
You know, before the show started, we were talking about music and how it influenced us, right? And so death was not only around us, you know, when we were in the neighborhood or whatever, but it's in the music. It was in everything. And so you know, if you're listening to some of the music, we were talking about Spice One. We got Spice One on the show today. Welcome, Spice One. I see you. We were talking about the music that Spice One would you know, rap about, and you know, man, a lot of his raps were full of like the stuff we're talking about right now.
Right.
And you would listen to that, and there's only one way through and one way out. So if something happens, someone brought the noise to you, you better be ready, or you know, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, there's certain mentalities that you had back then, and so yeah, being young, you know, if a distraction or something happened in life, it was, you know, you meet force with force. You just couldn't. There was no back down. Otherwise, that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. Every time they see you, it's a misunderstanding. Oh, he's soft. He ain't gonna do nothing. Blah blah blah. What he got? What you got in your pockets, homie? And that was it. You know what I'm saying?
So have you ever saw a kid that got picked on so much and finally he just got angry and just started swinging on somebody and just like, you know?
Yes.
That's kind of how life felt, you know,
Yeah.
at the time. It felt like life would pick on you and pick on you, and all you could do was just get angry.
Right.
And you know, when I was younger, of course, you know, look at me. Back then I had a little curly hair and all this other stuff, and AD, you still got that hair. No, I'm just kidding.
Haven't reached puberty yet.
I'm joking, but yeah, it was one of those things where the picking, you know, people picked, and eventually you couldn't take the picking no more, you know. And in that moment, it's like, okay, I got a choice here. I can let this keep happening, or I can start, you know, fighting back. And even like when people talk about you, you know, back, you know, when we used to bag on each other is what we used to call it. It wasn't the dozens, we was in the bagging phase. And we, you know, when we used to bag on each other, people used to talk about me, and I would just take it. And then one day I was just like, oh, here, let me give it back.
Right.
And I just started, and that's why right now being able to talk, you know, have a sense of humor actually happened because of me getting bagged on and everything else.
Right.
But it was like back then it was ruthless, and you know, you had to
100%.
you either get with it or you know, it just keeps happening. So
Right.
Michael says Soul Glow was in.
The Soul Glow was popping in Beyond Tenders. You're right, Michael.
Everybody had a Soul Glow at one time.
I can't say I didn't. I had an S curl.
Same thing. Ain't nothing, same thing.
I had S curl, then I dyed and put that strawberry blonde in the front like Kwame. I was like, I cut the eyebrows.
I need pictures.
Wait. Did you lay your baby hair down? I'm just kidding.
Oh, boy, you ain't right. Boy, you ain't right. You ain't right. Oh man, I put the diamonds in my ears and went and got my gold teeth. I was just a man.
All that was after my time.
He said all that. He said,
oh man,
I missed all of that.
You must have had a shag then. You had a shag.
Had a shag in the back. Oh, with the thick shag.
Did I ever have a shag?
Said,
you know, I don't know. I don't think ever. No, I never had a shag.
Then you just had the afro.
You had a tail right there.
Which pick did you have? Just put it that way. Let me ask you, which pick did you have? Did you have the
now,
one?
You got to think when you talk about the picks and stuff. You talking about the late 70s. You know, we had to pick that you could fold and then close it and put it in the back pocket.
Yeah.
One side was red, the other side was green.
Yeah.
Right. So you had that. You just open it up.
Yep.
You pick your hair out, close the back, put it in your pocket. Or you had the pick, you know, that was all black with the fist on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the folding pick was the best. You just
Right.
put it in your back pocket.
Put it away.
So I must have been out of touch because I still have one in the 80s.
Yeah, I had mine too. I had mine in the 80s too.
Right.
I had a kid play high top fade though.
That was me. Like this.
Yeah, man.
I had that.
Eraser head.
Couldn't be too high though because I was in the military for the kid and play time, the kid and play season. But that high top, yeah, mine might have been not that high. Couldn't be too high because I had to wear my.
Oh man, mine was super high. I used to get it, I dyed, put that S curve juice up in there. Shoot, what?
S curl, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. It's the
You don't know,
Bobby Brown.
you don't know that Duke S curl. Shoot,
Not the Duke.
what?
Not the Duke.
And that luster silk. Oh, you don't know nothing about that luster silk. You don't know nothing about that luster silk.
Gotta spray that in.
Is that the pink bottle?
Mhm.
The luster silk?
That's that pink bottle.
That pink bottle?
You gotta be around some women to know about that luster silk. You know what I'm saying?
I got the
Hood.
pink bottle.
I
Still do the
grew
pink.
up in the hood. You get to see a lot of stuff. in the
Yeah,
hood. Just saying.
yeah.
Listen, those are the posters on the hood on front of the stores. It was like either Ice Cube and St. Ides or some Soul Glow. That was it. St. Ides and Soul Glow. That was like every. Oh, I'm sorry, and posters of rap concerts coming. You know.
that Afro Sheen, boy. Sure.
That Afro Sheen.
Yes,
Like shit, I was brushing the hair with the wave cap and the special brush. Right.
Oh yeah, I had that Mary's grease. Once I cut everything off, I
Right.
got some of that Mary's pomade. Sure, could tell me nothing, boy.
Yeah.
So don't get seasick. Don't get seasick.
Oh, hold on. He said, man, my mother would be like, don't put your hair on my couch. She had to have a pillowcase on the back seat.
Oh man. Follow the drip. Follow the drip.
Back in the day.
So we're talking about overcoming. Well, kind of what do you do when adversity comes, in the midst of the goals that you're going after? What do you do? How do you pivot? How do you stay focused on the goal? No, not at all. He asked, was Aiden, were you a straight A student? No, I struggled. I used to have homeboys. We would hang out and, we all hanging out, doing nothing. They go to class, get B's. I'm like, how did I get an F? How can I not suck this information? You guys just suck it all in. Like I had to go, me in school, we did not have a good relationship. Me in school, I struggled. Yeah.
Listen, I spent 4 years in high school and finished high school with a 0.67 grade point average.
Oh,
with
bro.
the what?
A 0.67 grade point average. I
Point.
finished.
So
Like,
you didn't even put your name on the paper.
Yeah. I didn't drop out. I didn't drop out. I actually went through the whole time of high school.
Wow.
To not graduate, but finish with a 0.67. Like I had to work hard for that.
I'm like, you can get a 1.0 by just putting your name and date on the paper.
You went to class. You was there. You were present.
I was at. Listen, we'll have another show about that high school years.
We
high
can,
school years.
definitely.
Right.
Jeff said music.
I went 4 years of high school and I still had a freshman homeroom.
Wow.
You went what?
4 years of high school and I still had a freshman homeroom.
Oh wow.
Man,
You was special like me.
you
You was special kind of special.
Yeah, I barely went to school, man. After my freshman year, when I couldn't play football no more, it was downhill after that.
Wow.
We had that no pass, no. Y'all probably, I think that was nationwide. No pass, no play.
Mhm.
So shoot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They were real hard on the sports.
I couldn't play. I was like, no.
Yeah. Oh, Michael said.
So real quick, back to what you're talking about. Like now, when distractions happen, distractions to me are assumed now. Like anytime I start something new, I assume there's going to be a distraction. I assume that things are going to happen. I'm going to make something happen, or something's just going to happen out of the blue. But sometimes we got to learn to evaluate where we're going. If we're still moving forward, it doesn't stop. Right. And we got to understand our whys behind what we do. That's important for me. Like, why do I do what I do? Right. And it's not, sometimes it seems like I do things and it just seems like I'm just doing it just to be doing it, but it's not. There's a purpose behind everything I do. And so purpose kind of carries beyond the distraction. You know, there's a certain timing of things that have to happen. Like we may have been on the road before, and we get caught up in a traffic jam, and we're like, you know, oh, I got caught up in this traffic jam, and then realize that there was an accident down the line. It's like, oh, if I didn't get caught up in this traffic jam, I've been in that accident, right?
Right.
That's kind of the same thing with life and distractions. Like I get caught up in certain traffic jams of life, and it's like if I don't, you know, I might be moving a little bit too fast. I might be heading towards something I'm truly not ready for. And if I get it, it's going to crush me, you know, and it's going to change some things. So when distractions happen, we have to have that mindset. Back in 2013, December 12th, 2013, you know, I was just playing basketball. I wasn't doing something I haven't done 1,000 times. And it wasn't like I was doing something crazy. It was 2-on-2. I jump up to catch a pass and come down and break my leg. Right. And tear ligaments and everything. You know, in that moment, there's so many things that, you know, that could have just happened because, you know, it still impacts me to this day.
Right.
But, you know, there was a time where I had to work through that process, and coming out of it, you know, this December and February, I got one of the biggest things that ever happened to my life that moved my life forward that I still benefit from today, you know, but that was an adversity that I could have just sat my butt down and just stopped. But when adversity happens, you know, you just got to sometimes keep pressing and understand, get back to the main thing, your why behind your what's.
Yeah.
I got you. But how do you plan for adversity? How do you anticipate? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you have to, well, first and foremost, you have to recognize that it is a part of life.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and how frequently. The reality is trouble comes. The Bible says we're troubled on every side, you know, but there's an antidote to all of that. You know, it's not that the trouble comes, it's how we respond to trouble, how we overcome these obstacles. And so if I go into the day knowing that things may go wrong, then I'm preparing myself for how to deal with things going wrong. Right.
Okay.
It's like I live my life today, my life is based on not trouble coming, but my response to it.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's in the response. So that's true.
Yeah, it is the response. Responding to trouble is one of the greatest lessons we learned about Job in the scripture. You know, Job had tough questions for God, but God had tough questions for Job. Where were you when I cast the stars into orbit? The reality is, why would you question this? You can ask the questions, but make sure you're prepared for the answers. The reality is things are going to happen. Things are going to go wrong.
Right.
You know, and sometimes they go wrong in the areas that you never expected to go wrong in. But what's important is that you recognize it can happen. It will happen. And you have to work and process through it. So now let's deal with how I work and how I process through it.
Right.
If I know I have a short temper, then I know I have to hold my peace. Right. I have to work harder at holding my peace because I'm going to be easily triggered. That means I have to learn how to mitigate the risk of being triggered, which means I can't go to those areas or speak in those conversations that I know trigger me unless I have a support system around me that will hold me accountable for how I react to it.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm left to my own devices and there's going to be an explosion, you know, and that's what it is. And you can take that and look at any weak area of your life. If I examine the weak areas of my life, I know where I'm going to have the most trouble.
True. Okay. I get it. I mean, I you know, I get the try to mitigate the levels of adversity. Like even, you know, you're going to work, you leave early, so you're not speeding and you're more mindful of your drive, things of that nature. Well, go ahead, Tom. You look like
so. Yeah, I was just gonna say sometimes you just go below it. Like if you're really looking for the true answers, like there is a way out of it. Like there's on this side of being mature, being a man, and everything else. Right. I know that there's always an answer to every problem. There's a solution to every problem. I believe that.
Right.
Sometimes you'll blow it though. Sometimes you're gonna feel down. You know, when distractions happen, it's a moment. You're gonna have to take a moment. You're gonna have to take a moment to feel what you feel. You're gonna have to take a moment to understand what's going on. But you also got to know what you're made of.
Right.
You know, a lot of times this comes down to what are you made of? What are you what are you gonna allow to stop you in life? You know, there's so many people that are motivating. There's this guy I follow on Instagram. Dude has no legs, and like he's out there just killing it. And you know, there's things where you got to find your motivation, right? And so when you find that motivation, those motivating factors, that's important. And so what's your motivation? You got to ask yourself questions. When distractions happen, they're gonna happen.
Right.
Are you asking God, why me? Or are you saying, you know, what am I learning from this? What do I have to do to get through this? Or am I even supposed to be in this right now?
Right.
And so there's some questions you got to ask yourself. And I think if you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. You ask the wrong questions, you stay in the same space that you've always been in.
So Jeff says exactly as I've gotten to the point where I can anticipate the worst case scenario, and I always examine what it's going to be like, and I deal with that. That helps me with decisions sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is you can't prepare for every distraction. You can't prepare for every disruption. But what you can prepare for is life, which includes all of those things. You know, I know things will go wrong, but I didn't think that would go wrong.
Right.
You know, man, everything was good till that. Man, I never expected that to happen.
Right.
You know, and when that happened, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to deal with it. Right. Yeah. And so sometimes you have to pause. Right. The Bible says, be anxious for nothing.
Right.
But in everything by prayer and supplication, I have to slow down. Yeah.
Keep going, because it says, let your requests be known, and the peace that passes all understanding.
That passes all understanding will keep you. It will keep your heart, right? But the thing is, you have to evolve. You have to mature into that.
Yeah.
You know, that's not how I thought at 25. At 25, it was on and cracking. You know, there was fisticuffs. It was all that other stuff, you know. It was possibly catching a case. It was all of that, you know, because I didn't realize that, you know. But we learn and that's why it's so important to have reasonable authority in your life, having those accountability. I call them the bumpers of life, so you don't get too far outside the lines. And most people end up in trouble because they ignore the bumpers. They reject authority. It's really that simple, you know. And for those who don't reject authority, who respect the bumpers, there's less problems. I didn't do that. but now I do, and now I understand. Now I know better, and so my goal, my responsibility is to try to pour that knowledge into the next generation, into these next generations that are coming behind me, to let them know, you know, what you're doing today can only hurt you tomorrow. This stuff will come back to haunt you. And so, you know, and again, I'm saying this as somebody who's close to 56 years old. Right. I didn't say close to 60.
Why does Kevin Hart pop in my mind right there? That's a Kevin Hart moment. Kevin Hart, Don Cheadle.
We have to learn to count.
Say it one more time, Brian. I'm gonna replay it for you.
Go ahead, do it for me.
What you doing?
I'm close to 56.
Damn.
So I'm learning to count up the cost. Right? When trouble comes, I count up the cost. I can react, and you have to slow down. I what's in it for me? What is that? What's in it? What is it? What WIM? Yeah. What's in it for me? What's in it for WIIFM? For us, right? Whatever that acronym is. And I have to count that up. right?
Right.
I could react this way, and I have these consequences.
Yeah.
These consequences satisfy me right now,
Right.
but how will they penalize me later?
Spray up this whole neighborhood with this gun on in the Porsche.
Yeah,
Angry.
you know, I could do that and have immediate
Right.
gratification,
Right.
but the long-term impact is really going to hurt me, and it's going to hurt my family.
Right.
And if I don't take time to think about and process through those things, I'm going to end up with a case on me,
Right.
you know, or I'm going to end up bankrupt, or I'm going to end up homeless. I'm going to end up single. I'm going to end up sick. Or I'm going to end up dead, or I'm going to end up in jail, whatever the case might be. You know, you got to count that up and find out what's more valuable to you in this moment.
Yeah.
Right. The Bible talks about these virtues that you have to add to your faith. The book of Peter talks about to add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and all of these things.
Right.
And one of the key factors there is temperance.
Yeah.
Self-control.
Yeah.
A lot of us lose because we ignore or we rebuke self-control.
Right.
And we pay a longer extended consequence for immediate gratification.
Right.
And
You know,
it's just not worth it.
What you're saying too, though, a lot of times that very self-control could be the thing that frustrates us, because it's like I look at this person who's out of control and looks like that they're coming up
Right.
and they're doing all these other things, and I'm over here and I'm trying to be self-controlled, and it looks like I'm losing.
Right.
And that can be the distraction in itself right there, that a lot of times we gotta realize that we cannot base our life off of what we think someone else is going through. A lot of times we get those images and we think that out of control is better than being in control, and the reality is no, you're out of control. Eventually you're going to hit a wall.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's important for us to remember those types of things.
Definitely. Richard says in his deep comment, my dad told me, be grateful you're walking in your shoes and not another man's shoes. As you don't, they walk in struggles. You don't
walk in their
struggles. Yeah. Let's see. Michael says maturity helps you understand that joy is based on your position and happiness is based on your condition. I can't base my movements on my feelings because they are subject to change. Right? Yes. However, my purpose is greater than my feelings. You can't take my joy, but sometimes you can make me feel disappointed. Right. Right. That's good. That's good. Yeah, definitely. So we're talking about seeing your goals when things happen, when adversity happens, trying to plan for the worst, expect the best, plan for the worst. I think that's always a thought on our minds sometimes in pursuing things. So Kaneem, let me ask you this, because you're quiet, because I want to pick on you a little bit. Because you do, honestly, I thought about you because you do a lot of business ventures. Like you kind of, see some good opportunities, you kind of jump into, and you do a lot of research. We talked about that. For the most part, most of the business ventures that you jumped into, have you encountered a lot of surprises? Because I know you try to prepare as much as possible, get the right licenses, and okay, boom, I can jump into this thing. For the most part, have you diverted or averted risk, or every business venture you always get hit with something like, where did this come from? I didn't see this one happening.
Yeah, man. I mean, I first thing I learned is that you gotta be legal all the way through. Whatever license, certification, whatever you need to be registered, you need to have all that done first. You know what I'm saying? So get that out.
Right.
Then once you get that, make sure that you got all the proper insurances just in case the unexpected happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when it get down to the day-to-day nitty-gritty, those is if you don't know anybody, and you just doing it on your own,
right,
then the mistakes that you will make, you need to learn from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's why I made this mistake. You go back and you kind of analyze why you made the mistake, how you made the mistake, how you walked into it, or what you didn't see. What were you blind to?
Right.
And look at the outcome of the consequence of you being blind. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. What has been one of the things that you've like, because you started, I'm sure you made more mistakes starting out than you have now. Like, what were some of the mistakes that you started making in the beginning? Like,
at the beginning, I think having the big eye syndrome, you know what I'm saying? Be like seeing the end and not seeing the journey. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I'm like, oh yeah. I'm finna go over here. I'm finna do this.
Right.
I know by such and such. I have about 250,000. And then, once I get that, I can put this over here and I can start this up. Then I might have 100 grand play with, this, blah, blah, blah. And then, you're seeing all that, but you're not seeing the journey to get there. Gotcha. You're not seeing that the price of lumber going up 70%.
Wow.
You're not seeing the contractors then increase their labor by 40%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing that logistics then change. Well, now, you ain't seeing none of that. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of like, well, God.
I didn't know it was going to be this much.
Not only did it slow you down,
right,
which gave you more holding costs, which kind of decreased your income or your profit margin.
Right.
But it's just so many things that you don't see. So that's why you kind of like you gotta kind of slow down and kind of prepare yourself. So now, at this point, I don't go into it with the big eyes. I go into it with 15 to 20% cost differential. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like just like say if Brian like, hey man, I got this deal, 50,000. We invested 12 months. Is they're gonna do 12.5% interest after that? Oh, that's good.
Right.
I'm gonna love that 12.5% interest.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm only thinking I'm gonna get 6%.
Okay.
Because I don't know what is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because something could happen, blah, blah, blah. Then be like, oh well, it ain't gonna be 12 months, it's gonna be 18 months.
Right. Right.
You're gonna break the payments up in the 4 payments instead of one lump sum.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. So I never go into it, but in my mind, I just like I weigh it to be like, it ain't gonna be exactly what you see in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. More than likely, it's gonna be a lot less.
Right.
But if I do get what is presented, hey, even better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't go into it with the big eyes no more.
That's good. Yeah,
that's good.
That's real good. So so with you guys, Thomas and Pastor, like even just in the areas that you're in, even in family, right? And I don't know, do you feel like kids are the most unpredictable?
Oh, don't talk about no kids now.
Unpredictable.
Talk about no kids now. You cannot predict what them babies gonna do. I raised them babies well. I know I taught. Like my man from The Wire. Hey, man, my kids surprise me every day. Every day they surprise me with something new. My daughter came in there last night. I'm talking about I was shocked. She said, Can we leave early so I get to school early? I was like, what? You want to get to school early? For what? Yeah. She just came out of the blue because I got 2 tardies and I don't want to get no tardies. And I looked up at her, I was like, that's a lie. What you really trying to get to school early for?
Right. Right.
So she probably can't. It's just, boy, I want to talk to my friend before we go to class, and I usually get there at 8:17, and that they don't give me enough time to get to class. Yeah, get to class. They ain't got time to talk. So if she talking, she'll get a tardy, but it's on her. You know what I'm saying? So she want to get to school so she can talk.
Right.
You're like, can we do that? I say, no, because I'm not going to get up there, and I'm not getting up no early so you can have a 5-minute conversation with some Negro I don't know. That ain't gonna happen. You know, I'm gonna leave it at normal time.
Right.
And if y'all see each other, y'all see each other. If y'all don't, that's good too.
Right. Yeah. Children. All right. So Jeff said, he said, I see all these muscle guys on TikTok, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna get there. But one thing I realize now is I won't live long enough to get there because these boys been doing it for 30 years to look like that. I'm thinking I do it for 2 months. That should be good enough. Yes.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, Jeff. I felt the same way until I started seeing a difference in my body after just a couple of weeks.
Nice. You can do it, Jeff.
And the reality is, I may not get to where they are, but I'm coming.
I'm coming. There you go.
They're not my competition. Yesterday's version of me is my only competition.
Ooh, let's go. Where the gym at?
Hey, if I'm better than I was yesterday, I'm winning.
Yeah.
Yes,
indeed.
You'd be surprised how quickly you can see a difference in your body, man.
That's true. That's once you start.
One way or the other.
3 months ago, I could not run 1 mile. I'm telling you. Like 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. Right? Now I can run 5.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I can run it fast.
Right.
I'm just saying a couple of months ago, I couldn't run 1. Right. So I have, as of January 29th, I think, I have created a new title for myself. I am the little engine that could. That is who I am.
I thought you were gonna call yourself Rocky.
Hey, I'm telling people, I may not catch you in a month, I may not catch you in a year, but you just need to know I'm coming.
Nice.
And objects in rearview mirror are closer than they appear.
Hold on. Jeff said, do I gotta put down the Chico sticks?
You went all the way back to 1986 with Chico sticks.
You ain't put them down yet?
Yeah, right. You ain't put them things down yet.
I didn't know they were still being made.
I was thinking that too.
They still stuck in his teeth.
Chico stick in forever.
You take a bite of that thing stuck in your teeth and everything. You know, your body can change one way or the other. Hang out with Little Debbie for a while, you'll see the difference.
Right. Oh man.
You know, when we talk about distractions, though, I mean, be honest, like just coming back to where we're at, you know, we got to learn how to deal with them. Like it's literally in our response to everything. We see a distraction, we feel a hurt, we feel a pain. You know, we got this trauma, whatever it is in our life. We got to realize that these distractions are there. You know, there's a saying that we always hear, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Right.
Not necessarily because it can kill you softly, kill you slowly, but how you learn how to deal with that, the places where you find your help at, the places where you lean in, because this life isn't meant to be done by yourself. So we're talking a lot about, you know, what happens when distractions happen. You know, you don't get to a certain point or overcome certain things by yourself. If you're left to yourself, you're going to go and you're going to do something that's probably more foolish than helpful, because that's what I feel like I want to do. That's what I think I should do or whatever. but you get some wise counsel around you, you get some people around you, you get people who can lift you up in the middle of those challenges, then it becomes, it becomes a village that's helping you move forward. It's important for you to surround yourself with the people that can help lift you up. If everybody around you is just cheerleading you to the things that you want to do, then you're going to go out and do it. So back in the days, if I felt a certain kind of way,
right,
and I was like, homie, let's go put some work in.
Right.
We went and put work in. There was no questions asked. It was like, where are we going? What we doing?
Right. What we doing?
And when my homies would do the same thing, I'd be like, oh man, here we go again. But that's inside of me. But outside of me is like, I'm in the car, and so you got to find people who are going to challenge those positions and allow you to see something different, because distractions are going to come. Right. And if you're not capable of overcoming those distractions on your own, make sure you have a village that helps you push that way.
Right. That's good. That's good. All right. So listen, guys, we appreciate you guys for rocking with us for another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. If all hearts and minds are clear, Kaneem, great story.
It ain't clear.
You said no, they ain't clear because I got you muted.
Yeah.
It's all good. Let me go and put you back on mute. So we appreciate you guys for being here again. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, Freestyle Friday, where you never know what's going to happen. Again, make sure you share. Let everybody know that the brothers are on Tuesday through Friday. And right, we need a village. Definitely. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you more. 988, you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis. 988. Dial that. And like I said before, it's not just 911, someone comes out, but you can actually speak to a professional on the phone. If it's you, you can hand the phone to them. They can have that conversation that may be helpful in the moment. All right. So 988 for mental health crisis. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Be blessed. Keep pushing, keep growing, and we will see you in the AM. Peace out.